Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. This is heat number 1, men's individual event number 6. Gonna recap that event for you. It has a 7-minute time cap, and it's old school CrossFit, 4-3-2 rope climbs, split up with 16, 12, 8 thrusters. So it's gonna be 4 rope climbs, 16 thrusters, 3 rope climbs, 12 thrusters, 2 rope climbs, 8 thrusters. That thrust rate, 155. And just like that, Arcona done with the rope climbs, making his way out to the barbell for our first look at the thrusters. The rest of the field making their way out. Petro, Gibson, Ozias, and Stubblefield, along with Giuliano and Bailey, all heading out. Guys, don't blink. Keep your eye on your favorite athlete, because this one will go quickly. One of these gentlemen will set the time to beat for the rest of the heats to follow. The event record belonging to Matt Fraser at the time of 3:17.67, set in Central. All the guys done with their first look at the rope climbs and advancing forward. Looks like Gibson moving up along with Ozias and Arcona. When they're done with their 16 thrusters, they will advance the barbell past that yellow line into the 10 rep zone, or excuse me, the 12 rep zone, just ahead of them. Coming up on 1 minute and 20 seconds, a hand in the air for Ozias, but it is going to be Arcona advancing just ahead of him. So it's going to go Arcona 1, Ozias 2, and we're looking for our number 3 athlete. Who's it going to be? Gibson advancing next. Arcona heading back for his next look at the rope climbs. 3 rope climbs up for Joshua Arcona, 12 labors CrossFit athlete. Ozias making his first trip up the rope of this round. Lex, his 3rd trip to regionals at a peak 360 CrossFit. Arcona also his 3rd trip in regional competition as we approach 2 minutes. Arcona with another touch. Arcona all in black right there on the Jumbotron. And folks, if you are tuning in at home, we appreciate you guys checking it out. Welcome to the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Atlantic Regional, brought to you by Zevia. And Arcona done with those rope climbs. He's moving back out to the barbell. 12 thrusters coming up. 12:25 on the time clock. Arcona all alone in the field of barbells. Gibson now making his way out along with Ozias. It'll be 1 Arcona, 2 Gibson, 3 Ozias, as they dig into the round of 12 thrusters. Broken down 6 and 6. Arcona done with the first 6 advancing that barbell, shaking it out. Gibson also advancing the barbell. Coming up on the 3-minute mark. Ozias advancing the barbell, hand in the air for Arcona. Arcona almost done with the round of 12. Hand in the air for Gibson, but it's going to be Arcona finishing up first, and he will advance past that solid yellow line. You see him placing that barbell, heading back for his last trip to the rope. 2 rope climbs coming up. Gibson and Ozias advancing simultaneously on opposite ends of the floor. Ozias getting his barbell situated. He will head back as Arcona makes his trip up the rope with a touch on the cross member. Dropping down, 1 to go for Arcona. Coming up on 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Arcona up the rope, making sure he shows control under that black mark on the rope, and he is done with the rope climbs, out for 8 thrusters. Between Joshua Arcona and the finish line, along with a time to beat. On track to set that time to beat going into heat number 2 as we pass 4 minutes. Again, folks, short time cap, only 7 minutes allotted for this event. Arcona advancing the barbell, hand in the air from his judge, indicating he has just a few reps to go. Again, those reps split in half between the 2 blocks, so only 4 reps remaining. Gibson also working on that. He will walk it forward. Gibson looking to make a push on the thrusters if he can, but he's going to have to dump it, leaving Arcona all alone to finish up. Arcona will dump the barbell. He gets the thumbs up from the judge, and Joshua Arcona, the big man in black, will bring it across the finish line at 4:43. Gibson up next. Gibson in lane number 8 in blue will finish up at 4:50. Montgomery cutting into the last few reps. The man down in lane number 9, yellow top, and he will hop the barbell. And Montgomery from CrossFit Reignited ILM. Kyle finishes up right around 5:09. Ozias battling it out with Daniel Petro, but it's going to be Petro finishing up. Give it up for Daniel Petro, making it across the line, 5:21. Daniel's 7th appearance in regionals. Ozias in a foot race with Giuliano, but it's going to be Ozias just ahead of Giuliano. And Clyde making it across the line. He will finish up right on 5:31. Again, 7-minute time cap in place, a little less than 90 seconds remaining. Bailey and Brock, your last two athletes, and Bailey finishing up his work on the barbell. And Bailey flips his chest piece at 5:49. Stubblefield taking it to the finish mat right around the 6-minute mark, and Stubblefield will close it out. Zach Brock, our final athlete on the floor, fighting his way through his rope climbs. Believe that was an errant horn, folks. We have time remaining on the clock. It was about 6:09 when that horn sounded. Clock still running 6:15. 6:20 on the clock. Brock time to finish up a few reps. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise out there for the man still working. You know how we do out of CrossFit North, like Zach Brock. Looking to finish up that round of 8 with less than 30 seconds to go. Brock hanging on to that bar. 20 seconds remaining. Brock just a couple of reps to go. Make some noise, West Palm Beach. Let's cheer him on as he takes it to the finish line with 10 seconds remaining. Brock will close it out under that time cap.
Ten men in this second of 4 heats, and right in the middle of the floor, lanes 5 and lane 6 are 2 big men who can move big weight.
Yeah, you know, with Z.A. Anderson, this guy, he came onto the scene a few years ago and just really set the stage for the Anderson brothers. Been battling a lot of injuries, trying to make himself back here. He has seen an event like this in a regional competition before, and the last time they did this in 2016, very similar. He was 16, so I'm looking for something big with him. But then Jonathan Wall, what I like about this guy is he's had momentum through this entire weekend. Rough first day, better second day, and had a beautiful 9th place finish in that dumbbell event that we saw. I want to see if you can ride that out for his final event for the weekend.
10 seconds.
Jonathan Wall in his second regionals appearance, trying to best his 10th place finish last year in 2017 here on the Atlantic Regional. 4 rope climbs to start this thing off. And then that 155-pound barbell awaits round 1, 16 thrusters at that weight. 45 total reps, and it's Z.A. Anderson
and look at him, and look at him using that height. We talked about how tall he was. Look at this big jump, couple pulls, lock the feet, touch the top, boom, done. That's if you have the efficiency and you got the height, you got to use it to your advantage, and he's definitely doing that. He just needs to make sure that he's not going too fast to get his feet. You can see a little hang up there with his feet, that he doesn't get too ahead of himself. But what a great way to start off.
Bernier in the white shirt, bottom of your screen, now in the middle of your screen, was the first man to the barbell, as just about every competitor has made it on to the 155-pound thrusters, and Z.A. Anderson will be the last man to his first set of 16 thrusters. They will walk the barbell forward every 8 repetitions. Kyle Bernier is your leader through 16, now 17, and now 18.
Great movement on those thrusters. Great movement on those thrusters. So here's the thing, that first round, you really are setting the stage for the rest of it. We have all done Fran. We know that burning sensation if you've been in a CrossFit gym before. The first round is great, but now's where you really get slammed by the wall. So did he overdo it on that first round? We'll have to see. But he was moving great through the rope climbs and those thrusters. Beautiful movement.
Kyle Bernier played defensive back at Western Carolina University. He was a walk-on there. Last year he finished 30th in the Atlantic Regional. Right now he leads the second of 4 heats through 21 of the 45 total repetitions. Chris Killian and John Wall, along with Mark Alejandro Dapke,
And I don't know if you have one of
Right
those. I don't know if you have one of those short ropes where you do your rope climb, Sean. But that little rope makes it so much more difficult. You can see that end whipping around. You know, if you have a rope that lasts that whole length, you have so much more to hold on with your feet. That makes it much more difficult. That's why I had a little bit of a problem on that last bite before I reached up to the top.
Bernier now on to his set of 12. He'll advance the barbell every 6. 25 of the 45 reps and counting are down. Chris Killian is on his left, and Ryan Reeves on the far left of your screen, trying to keep up with Bernier.
He is through 6 of his 12 thrusters in this second round. Let's look strong in this one.
A lot of good movement. A lot of good movement. Again, the nice thing is they force a break in between, so you got to move that bar. But you can tell he's just getting into that red line, fighting to get that weight up overhead, straining. Oh, that's not what you want to have.
First
you don't
no
want a
rep.
red line here. Oh man, that's painful.
And that may open the door for Jonathan Wall and Alexander Johnson to take the lead, but Bernier quickly back on the barbell and closes out his round of 12. Advances the barbell one final time and back to the rope now for 2 climbs. The time to beat is in the upper left-hand part of your screen, and that belongs to Josh Arcona, 4:44.40 seconds.
With those gymnastic movements, you have to make sure you're ready to go when it's time to go. Give yourself that rest. There's no reason to go up there and fail just because you're in a race. It's a lot of wasted energy. You can see him fighting again with those feet. That's something he's really got to be careful with. It's a lot of. You can see his arms are bent, so he uses a lot of extra energy there, and it really slows him down.
Ryan Reeves now has overtaken Bernier for the lead. Reeves is in lane number 1. He's running down the floor, bottom of your screen. Looking to improve on his 32nd place finish last year in the Atlantic Regional. Reeves 6'2", 205. There's another big guy in Jonathan Wall, 5'9", 199. Just 4 left for him as he walks it forward over his head. Ryan Reeves will set the new mark to beat as he comes across the finish line for the final time here at the regional competition. And now Jonathan Wall is in second place, and he will be second in the event, as now Josh Arcona's time is the 3rd best mark at 4:44. And Kyle Bernier has fallen off the lead pace as Killian and Johnson are in a foot race. Killian was on the right of your screen, Johnson at the top, and Killian's going to edge him out by about 0.15 of a second. Bryce Lawler has the barbell down, and Lawler's competition is done. Back on the floor, Kyle Bernier in the white shirt is back on the barbell, but he has watched a lot of men pass him. Marco Alejandro Dapke in the red shirt just finished as Bernier is on his last 4. Andrew McGovern in his first regionals appearance gets across the finish line for the final time, and Bernier struggling with his 155-pound barbell.
We saw how tough it was in that last round, and then he really just blew himself out on the rope climbs. Didn't have anything left in the tank, and we saw that entire field just empty out in front of him.
And Kyle Bernier is across the finish line. He will close out his 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Atlantic Regional as Z.A. Anderson and Cody Bradburn are the only 2 athletes left on the floor. They have a little more than a minute now to get across the finish line. Shouldn't be a problem for either man. Z.A. Anderson is in the middle.
And you know, at this point, it's just kind of a mental game. You know, you can tell Z.A. was frustrated from the beginning. He started off this event with those fast rope climbs, got a couple no reps, got it behind, and then it's just hard. I mean, it's the last event. You know you're not going to make it to the games. But, you know, great weekend. Glad to see him back on the floor.
Z.A. Anderson is done, and now Cody Bradburn is in. And that'll close out heat number 2. So Ryan Reeves has the new mark to beat at 4:22.91 seconds as he applauds the crowd and his fellow competitors.
And we saw Bernier, he looked beautiful in those first, I'd say, round and a half. And then it just like anything else, if you push it out too fast, too hard, you saw that no rep, that was his limit, and that just filtered to the rest of the event for him. So he got to that rope climb, went up there, and struggled and struggled. You can see he was really straining with those arms, blew so much energy out that everyone else passed him, and Wall made up that distance, felt great, looked great, a lot of very strong movement. Look at that, no problem at all. And then Reeves all the way through. Now, I tell you what, I didn't see him really in that first round. I think he paced that perfectly. That's what you need to do. But great job on finish. Strong finish for the weekend.
Still 2 heats to go. We'll be back with the third heat for the men in just a second. Event 6 rolls on the final day of competition here at the Atlantic Regional at the Palm Beach County Convention Center in West Palm Beach, Florida. Thanks for staying with us, everybody. I'm Sean Woodland with Bill Grundler. Amanda Krenz will be joining us from the competition floor throughout the competition. Event 6 is simple, and we've seen this before, but man, this could get ugly with these two movements.
You know, when they look simple on paper, then you know they're going to be painful, and that's exactly what this is. 4-3-2 on those rope climbs, 16-12-8 on the thrusters at 155 pounds, that 7-minute cap. It is fast, and we're going to see some quick movement or some deadly red lines, either way.
10 men in this heat. 2 men who can move weight. Aaron Hanna in lane 8 and Adam Vincent in lane 5.
And I don't think that Aaron's had exactly the regional that he wanted. He was trying to make himself back, but he's done this similar type of event also in 2016, and he was an 8th place finisher in that one. So what his position is going to be is to play spoiler for those lead guys in that 4th heat. And then Vincent, you know what? This guy has just been down then up every single day. A 34th, a 3rd, a 32nd, a 4th. He finished 12th in the last event. I think he could put something well here.
Adam Vincent would love to crack the top 10. Let's look at Josh Mabry, who will be in lane 6.
Stand by.
45 total reps. We start with 4 rope climbs and then 16 thrusters at 155 pounds. And Adam Vincent,
he looks great.
He's in the lead as he's just flying up and down that rope.
Now, one of the things I really like what he's doing is with that short rope, you start off with a legless rope climb. So he pulls up a couple ropes and then he gets a quick bite with his legs and then is able to go up over top and make that touch.
Across the floor in lane 10 is Henry Sales. First regionals appearance, blue shirt. He's onto the barbell first. 155 pounds on that barbell. They will move forward every 8 repetitions.
There's Aaron Hanna on the left side of your screen, keeping that bar on that front rack. Again, very strong athlete, very strong competitor, so the fact that he can do that is great. He just has to make sure that that's not biting too much into that energy source that he has. You have that weight on you, whether you're strong or not, it does take its toll, so he just needs to be very cognizant of that.
Aaron Hanna is your leader. He's through 20 of those 45 total repetitions. And Aaron Hanna at the far side of the floor just advances barbell, and he will move back to the rope. He now has to complete 3 rope climbs.
Smart move, keeping the chalk in the pocket. Using that walk back as a transitional rest. That's perfect. That's what you should be doing and should be thinking of. And using his height to his advantage. Nice little bite of the feet and a big reach.
That black line on the rope, that's at 11 feet. And before they can hop off, their hands have to be on the rope at that point, below that point, before they can come off the rope. So you just cannot jump down from the top to save yourself some time. Adam Vincent right behind Aaron Hanna, just 1 rep behind him.
Now, one thing that Vincent's doing, you can see his arms are bent that whole time when he's trying to get his feet locked. He should try to keep his arms as straight as possible, just kind of give his arms a rest.
Aaron Hanna back to the barbell. 12 thrusters at 155 pounds. Time to beat is in the upper left-hand part of your screen, and it belongs to Ryan Reeves, who did that in heat number 2. We're going to run the first 3 heats of men, then the 4 heats of the women, and then the final heat for the men. So we will have back-to-back final heats coming up a little bit later. Lane 2, Logan Southard. He's in the green shirt. He's right next to Nathan Bramblett, the Games veteran from 2015. And then on the left side is Connor Duddy, making his 3rd appearance here at the regionals. Henry Sales is creeping up on Aaron Hanna. And Adam Vincent, he's now in that fight for second place as he advances his barbell for his second set of 6. But Aaron Hanna now is done with his 12 thrusters, and he is back to the rope now for his final 2 climbs.
Man, he looks great. He just looks super confident, super relaxed, super composed. A little bit of an issue there with that lock. You saw that. The nice thing for him, he's got that length, so he doesn't have to hang onto that rope for too long. He has some space between him and the other competitors. But I tell you what, I love the way he's been moving on the thrusters. He just seems relaxed. You don't see any sort of frustration in his face, which is great.
Aaron Hanna, when he got back to the rope, was about 30 seconds ahead of the pace that was set by Ryan Reeves, who has a current time to beat at 4:22.91 seconds. And now Hanna has just 8 thrusters between himself and the finish line.
No issues at all moving that bar. He makes that barbell look like it's 75 pounds.
Aaron Hanna is just throwing that 155 pounds around, walks it forward, 4 final reps. And Aaron Hanna looking to put up a time that might throw a little bit of a wrench into that final heat. Hanna is done, and he will have the new top time as he closes out his competition, 3:58.98 seconds for Aaron Hanna. Logan Southard now, the leader on the floor. 4 reps to go, and then he has to cross the finish line. Nathan Bramblett in the blue shirt moving up to join Logan Southard, and in lane 5, Adam Vincent is done. Vincent will finish in second place in the heat, and that'll be good enough for second in the event as he just edges out Ryan Reed's prior best time, and now Nathan Bramblett is across along with Logan Southard. And here comes Raymond Romanek. He is in.
It's amazing how tight that field got. You didn't see just one guy come across. You saw about 5 all come across at the same time.
Connor Duddy is in. And keep these times in mind, because with 1 heat to go, some of these faster times may play a role in determining who finishes where in the event, and that could have a big impact on the points for those guys who are in the top 10 looking to get into the top 5. Zachary Mossbarger is in. That leaves Josh Mabry as the only competitor on the floor, and he is on his final 2 rope climbs. Less than 2 minutes to go before we hit the 7-minute time cap.
There's that struggle with that rope. That's the thing, if you just don't get, oh, did he get that one? Wow, that was close.
So Mabry's done, and he just has 8 thrusters remaining. Josh Mabry, not going to the CrossFit Games, but if these guys want to finish every event, and that means something.
It does. I mean, you're doing the same events that the best athletes in the world are doing, around the world. You get to kind of size yourself up, and this is a perfect chance for these athletes to try to figure out what they need to do for next season. Where do they need to make up their deficits? When we talk about the test of fitness, what is it? Where are they short? Now they're going to know.
Crowd getting behind Josh Mabry as he looks to close out his event and his competition. Mabry is done, and he will sprint across the finish line. May have given himself a Charlie horse with that barbell, but he is in. Won't have to worry about it for a while because no more competition remains for these men as Aaron Hanna takes the heat. 3:58.98 seconds and just manhandled that barbell.
He did not have an issue with that barbell at any point. I was worried that maybe he came out a little hot in that first round, but he just manhandled that bar. And again, we talked about his position in the overall scheme of this last event. That was a great time. The last time that they've done a rope climb and thruster event, he placed extremely high, so that is going to shuffle up or definitely try to put a wrench in the field in that final heat. So they all need to be aware of what Aaron has done, and I'll tell you what, I know that's not the finish that Aaron wanted as far as his overall placing, but a great weekend and great to see him out here fighting and just throwing weights around like a stud.
Amanda Krenz is with your heat winner, Aaron Hanna.
Aaron, you were going through those thrusters so smoothly, like that barbell wasn't nearly as heavy as it was. How were you able to do that during the final event of this competition?
I mean, it felt a little heavier probably than it looked. I got a ton of support out here, family and friends from my gym, and out here trying to finish strong for them, so.
Looking back at the events that you faced throughout this competition, what do you think about how they tested your fitness?
I mean, definitely all the way around. The weekend didn't end quite how I wanted it to, but you know, you get out here, do your best, and see what happens.
You did great in this final event. Good job. Thanks, Aaron.
Right now there are 5 men who are staring a trip to the CrossFit Games in the face, but one event remains for them, and this is where we find out who can handle the pressure.
And there is a ton of pressure. The points are so close. We have one guy looking in that's got some points to make up. But here's the thing. You have one task at hand, and if you get bound up with all the pressure of all the other things that everyone else needs to do, you're going to blow it. So the object here for all these athletes is stick to the task at hand, handle their pace, do their job, and come out swinging.
This is where the standings sit after 4 events. Travis Mayer is the first guy on the outside looking in. He is just 18 points back of John Colte. Norman Woodring, Adam Klink, Mitch Wagner, and Dane Smith all have a lot of work to do if they want to get themselves into the top 5 and on to Madison for the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games. We've seen this combination to close out regional competition before, but as we've seen in prior heats, it can get nasty.
Oh, yeah. I love the way it's set up. 4-3-2 on those rope climbs, 16-12-8 on the thrusters, 155 pounds. So that's a heavy weight for the thruster at this speed. We got a 7-minute time cap on this as well.
We talked about pressure. Lane 5 is Noah Olson. None on him. But John Colte in lane number 3, he has the 5th and final spot, and he has a target on his back.
Oh, man, he is a walking target. You got to figure, he doesn't have the experience necessarily, but this is the thing. I think if you're in the 5th place position, that's the most dangerous position because it's in your grasp. Now, he's had a great finish result so far. He's going to have to hold off this guy. Travis Mayer has been here before. He's overcome a larger deficit before, so if anyone can do this, he can do it, and he's looking to come out big in this event.
Ben Smith, meanwhile, sits in 4th place overall. He is far from safe. He has some work to do here in the final event. Who wants to go to Madison? We're going to find out here in the final heat of the final event as we close out competition at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Atlantic Regional. Alex Smith on his 4th rope climb.
Wow.
He's done and will move on to the barbell.
Wow, that was, if you want to talk about how to do fast rope climbs, that was exactly what you should do. Didn't waste any effort going up, fast coming down, and this is where he's going to have to keep himself, pace himself correctly on those thrusters. Don't burn out.
155 pounds on the barbell. They have to do 16 total reps in this first round, and they will walk it forward every 8. Alex Smith is the leader in the heat. That's why his name is highlighted in the blue box. And the number next to his name will indicate how many repetitions he has completed. And the number next to all the other athletes, if they are not tied, will indicate how many repetitions they trail the leader in the heat. There are 45 total repetitions in this event, and John Colte is in the lead, and that is good news for Colte because he's trying to hold off Travis Mayer, who right now is 3 reps off the lead pace.
So we saw Colte earlier moving well on the other barbell movements with the Linda. It didn't look real pretty technique-wise. He talked about it, about how he's bastardizing the movement, just trying to work it. But look at this tempo. He moved that bar quickly on those thrusters and right to the rope and attacks it. Look how fast he gets up there. A couple pulls, locks his feet, big extension, touch.
Colte with 1 to go before he will return to the barbell. He's in the dark blue shirt. Alex Smith is in lane 4, and Noah Olson's in lane 5. Colte with 352 points, trying to hold off Travis Mayer. If Mayer wants to get in, he's got to beat Colte, and he's got to hope that some people get between the two of them. And right now, John Colte is winning that race. Ben Smith, he is safe coming into this event with 354 points, currently sits in 4th place overall, but Travis Mayer is on the right, and that's the guy who's got to stomp the gas here to catch John Colte.
And so we're in that second round, and this is a real important round. If you came out too hard and too fast, you'll really kind of hit the wall here. Travis knows how to pace. We've seen him do that. Looks like he's taking a little bit of a rest, but he knows that final round, he needs to go absolutely crazy. He's got to slam that pedal down and really push the tempo, especially against John Colte, who's moving up in the front. He's keeping that lead.
Colte is now back for his final 2 rope climbs, and he is leaving Travis Mayer behind him. Colte not trying to leave any doubt here.
Oh, man, look at that. He is doing, now you can tell this hurts, and he knows that, but he's just going for it. He's not slowing down. He did the exact same thing in Linda. He's got a great pain tolerance. He's holding on for dear life.
Final row climb for Colty. Back to the barbell now for 8 thrusters at 155 pounds. If he finishes 4th or better in this event, he has clinched a spot to the CrossFit Games, and Travis Mayer now needs to do something special here to catch John Colty, who's on the bottom left of your screen. Colty, 45 is the magic number. He's got 4 to go. Travis Mayer, upper right, back on the barbell. Unless Colty implodes.
Look at Ben Smith. Look at that tempo he's picking up.
John Colty, 4th or better. Why not just win the event? And welcome to Madison, Wisconsin, Mr. Colty.
Unbelievable finish.
And now a sprint between Smith and Mayer. Smith wins that. Mayer's in 3rd. Now Mayer is still ahead of some of the guys who are in the top 5. Alex Smith is one of them, but he had a sizable deficit to make up between him and Alex Smith. Ethan Helbig is still on the floor. Mayer was 26 points behind Ethan Helbig. And now we're running into times from the prior heat, so Helbig has got to hurry up and get himself over the finish line, or he will start surrendering precious points to Travis Mayer. And here comes Helbig, came in 2nd place overall, looking to hang on to a spot in the top 5, and he may have done enough. Helbig unofficially is 7th in the event as Adam Klink comes over.
Colty, unreal job. Just did not slow down.
It doesn't look like Travis Mayer beat Helbig by enough to get himself in, but that's unofficial. Norman Woodring in the green shirt, who started off with a 2nd place finish in event number 1 on Friday, had an outside shot. He was 48 points back to start the event and would have needed a win here and then a whole lot of help. Closes out his event, and he is across the finish line. But the man in the bottom left, John Colty, looking to head to the CrossFit Games for the first time in his career, left no doubt going out and winning the event.
You know, the beautiful thing about John this entire weekend is he just didn't look around. He did his thing. No one really had eyes on him that much. And man, the events that he handled, just insane. All of his finishes under the top 10. Beautiful finish for that last event.
Travis Mayer put up a good fight, but John Colty wins the event and has earned a ticket to the CrossFit Games.
You know, and it was the speed of his thrusters, the confidence of himself moving through those transitions, moved well. I mean, you really can't bastardize the movement. He just crushed it, jumped on the rope, and what I loved is he came right down from the floor, immediately on the rope, ran right back to the bar. Those transitions were fast. He never slowed down. He never looked around. Man, head down and went to work. Beautiful.
Then a sprint to the finish between Ben Smith and Travis Mayer, and Smith going back to the CrossFit Games possibly for the 10th straight time. John Colty with his 2nd win of the competition, but he saves the best for last as he picks up 100 points, taking the final event of the regional, and he is looking to head to Madison, Wisconsin for the first time. Competition is over, but for some of these men, this is the hardest part of the 3 days, waiting to hear their name called to see if they will be heading to the CrossFit Games, and I cannot imagine what is going through Travis Mayer's head right now.
You know, all these athletes, they put in so much time. I just don't think that the average CrossFitter or even other athletes just get how much time these athletes put into it. Sometimes it plays in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. You got to lay it all out there, and they did. In that last event, we definitely saw that. Heads were down. I saw a lot of very focused athletes. I didn't see anybody not do what they should do. I mean, even Travis, that wasn't the finish that he wanted. I know that. But, you know, again, all you can do is do your absolute best.
Travis Mayer just looks like he came up a little short in his effort to head back to the CrossFit Games for the 3rd straight time and the 5th time in his career. That man kicked the door down.
Wow. He blew my mind from event number 2. Now, he had a decent finish in the first event, but again, he was kind of in the pack. We didn't really see him as 10th place. We don't really see that. But winning Linda, moving the bar the way he did, handling that, being with these guys shoulder to shoulder, and then composing himself, that was just incredible.
And last year at this regional competition, he was the leader after 2 events, but then he had 4 finishes outside the top 10, including a 25th, and that dropped him down to 8th place overall.
Yeah, I mean, so he's flirted with that group, you know. I mean, he understands what it means to be at least be on the regional level competitive floor with these guys, but he hasn't been very consistent. He has been the most consistent of all the athletes here today. I mean, Noah Olson included. I don't even think he believes it yet.
Ethan Helbig, it was looking a little sketchy for him there.
Yeah.
When he was still on the floor and Mayer had finished, but he did not waste time. He got himself across the finish line, did damage control. Dane Smith, I think one day will be there.
We will definitely see that, the 3rd Smith on the field.
Oftentimes at the CrossFit Games regionals, the waiting is actually harder than the actual work.
It's got to feel so long down there for these guys.
And John
Come
Colte
on, add up those scores already.
knows that he's in, but he needs to hear the official announcement. That man, Travis Mayer, is just wondering if he did enough. Let's head down to the competition floor for the official announcement.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The results are in. Just like our women's division, there are only 5 spots for the CrossFit Games. Finishing with a total of 488 points and clinching first, returning to the CrossFit Games, Noah Olson. In second, with a total of 452 points and a stellar performance all weekend long, John Colte. In third place with a total of 448 points, returning to the CrossFit Games, Ben Smith. Securing the 4th spot, going to the CrossFit Games with a total of 434 points, Alex Smith. There can be only 1 spot remaining. It is between the 2 gentlemen you see on the Jumbotron. With 432 points going to the CrossFit Games, Ethan Helbig!
Travis Mayer just could not get enough done as Ethan Helbig is heading to the CrossFit Games for the first time in his career.
They talked about him being babyface before. Man, he looks like he won an all-day pass to Disneyland. Look at that face. He's so excited.
It's hard when you watch this because you feel so happy for Ethan Helbig, but at the same time, you know the type of guy that Travis Mayer is, and you feel so bad for him.
I mean, well, Travis, he's such a workhorse. He puts in the time. You know, he's been a mainstay for a handful of years. I mean, it's weird to see him not going, but We had new faces up at the top all through this weekend, and it's really cool to see that we got some new blood in there.
That is the CrossFit Krypton contingency. Klink and the Smith brothers. But John Colte is the man who puts on a show in the final event as he is with Amanda Krenz.
John Colte making a splash at this Atlantic Regional. This guy's got a full-time job. He trains on the side. What does that say about you as an athlete that you can balance all of that?
It says I don't have much of a life outside of CrossFit and work. I don't do much besides that.
You're very dedicated. I noticed as I was watching you throughout the weekend that you seem to really analyze these workouts, shave off places within the movements where you can be most efficient. Is that part of your strategy?
Sometimes on ones like this, you just gotta send it though. I didn't know what the hell to expect.
Coming in here today, what did you expect for yourself?
I think everybody expects to be going to the games at the end of the weekend. At least they should be. So that was definitely what I expected, but it's awesome to actually be doing it.
Congratulations, you're going to the CrossFit Games in Madison.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
John Colte and Ethan Helbig, the two rookies from the Atlanta Regional, heading to the CrossFit Games. They will join Noah Olson, Ben Smith, and Alex Smith. Looking forward to watching these two compete in Madison, Wisconsin. Noah Olson has won the regional yet again, and he is joining Amanda Krenz.
Noah, what we saw throughout this competition, I believe, is a more mature athlete. Is that accurate to say that?
Sure, I'll take it. Yeah, I've been working on that for a little while, just refining my game, so hopefully every year it just gets me a little closer to the top of the podium at the games.
I know it's a constant challenge for you to fight your instinct of going all out in every single one of these events. Have you learned that that is not the way to handle all of these tests that are put in front of you?
Yeah, not necessarily. There were a couple workouts this weekend that I paced, like the last one, the snatches and the burpees, where I feel like I paced it really well, and that was a good sign of what you were saying, like, hey, I actually am starting to learn and mature and just execute better.
Now you're headed back to the Reebok CrossFit Games once again. What are you going to take with you that you've learned from previous years?
Man, it's my 5th year going out to the games in a row, which is amazing. I remember it was actually this venue in 2013. I was competing, and I was very close to making it, and I ended up finishing 7th. And in that parking lot right out there, I had a sad exit. My keys were locked in my trunk. It was just a bad day. So this is a big turn of events on that, so I'm happy moving forward and looking forward to hopefully my best year yet at the games.
Much happier ending this time around. Noah, thank you. Congratulations.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Noah Olson walking away with the regional championship for the 2nd straight year. Ethan Helbig edging out Travis Mayer by just 10 points. And Alex Smith survives by 12 points.
And I'll tell you what, I am happy to see those new names in there. That's what we need to have, is that overturn, that new blood in John Colte and Helbig and Ethan Helbig. They're bringing some very colorful new blood to the mix. I'm excited to see them in Madison.
We have seen rookies perform well in the past, so looking forward to watching those two guys throw down. Ben and Alex Smith. Last week we had the Panchik brothers. This week we have the Smith brothers, and they are currently being corralled by Amanda Krenz as we look to hear from the two of them. But Adam Klink was a guy who unfortunately joins a dubious crowd. He finished top 2 in the first 2 events. In the past, 29 of 31 people have done that since 21-15. All 29 of them have qualified, only 2 didn't. And now it's 3 with Adam Klink. Amanda Krenz has gathered up Ben and Alex Smith. Let's send it down to her on the competition floor.
Ben, last year during this regional, I think you made some people nervous during the first part of the competition, maybe somewhat this year as well, but what do you know about yourself as an athlete that makes you confident through all 3 days of competition?
Sure. This is my 10th game, so the experience helps without a doubt, and I'm really just here to qualify for the games, and that's where I really want to put on a good show.
10 is a nice round number. Was that any extra pressure for you? Did you want to make it a decade straight?
I want to make it every year. It doesn't change. So I'm happy that it's 10, and I'm just thankful that God gives me the opportunity to compete every year and come out here and do what I love to do. So very thankful for that.
And you've had your little brother, this year little brothers, competing right by your side. I know you say it's like being in the gym at home, but come on, it's not really. It's a bit more intense out here. What is it like being on the competition floor with Alec?
I mean, it's awesome being here with Alec, Dane, Adam, our CrossFit Krypton team. Like, it's something special. Just very thankful again. It's pretty cool.
And Alec, what about you? You've had this guy to follow in his footsteps. What has that been like?
Yeah, I mean, having a 10 times CrossFit Games athlete as a role model is not that bad, especially getting to train with him every day. He's taught me everything that I know about CrossFit and about Olympic lifting and everything like that, so it's really special to be able to share this with him for another year.
And you are just Mr. Gymnasty, but what do you do in your training, and what are you going to do from now until the CrossFit Games to make sure that you are that well-rounded athlete?
Yeah, I took a step back this year and trained a lot on my capacity work, rowing, running, biking, all that stuff that I'm not too great at, and just try to have fun with the gymnastic stuff because that's a part of training that I do enjoy. So I didn't take it out of training completely, but I'm just working. I worked on my weaknesses a lot this year, and they definitely paid off because this regional was a lot different than last regionals was. So it's actually a better feeling this year qualifying than it was last year, knowing that I put in the work and that it paid off.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Alec and Ben Smith heading back to the CrossFit Games for the second straight year. West Palm Beach has been good to them, and it's been good to us. It's been a blast being here over the last 3 days, and we saw a hell of a show.
Well, absolutely. Across all three of the different divisions. What I take away from this weekend is you have to want it. You have to, and not just want it, but you got to be able to be willing to hurt, and we saw that. We saw that across the board on the men's side. I tell you what, Alex Smith changed my mind this weekend. He's got gifts. Now I know that he's got the heart. We saw that on the women's side, that battle between Cassidy Lass McWarner and Emily Bridges up at the top. We saw that on the team side, even to the point of teammates kicking each other, trying to get things going. So I saw a lot of heart, a lot of grit, and man, is it going to be a fun game up in Madison.
And with that, regionals is over. For Bill Grundler, Tanya Wagner, and Amanda Krenz, I'm Sean Woodland. We will see you in Madison, Wisconsin.